3. Go ahead. Welcome to No Less Shelves. I'm Rachel. I got thrown off by that.
I'm sorry, I'm Michelle.
I feel like I do it every time because I'm hitting the record button.
You know, I don't want you to feel left out. I should have probably told you that before, but it's all good. It's all good.
Throw it at me.
I just wanted to start off with fun and different, and now we get into whatever we're doing. Okay, so I've read some other books besides a podcast book, but you have some bookish news first.
Okay.
Okay.
So, today
on
Amazon Prime, Off Campus premiered, which is the show for the deal.
Yes.
Which is why I'm wearing my Briar U
Okay. So the Amazon released their first episode?
I think it's the whole series. I think they all did it all at once.
Oh, that's unusual for Amazon. They usually like to do where you have to space it out, where you have to do the subscription at least for 2 months. So that's interesting. So, have you always watched the first episode?
I have not.
Oh.
Well,
Shame.
I have to work today.
You should have called into work first of all.
No, I'm out of PTO time.
No, the more accurate statement is your PTO time is already allowed for other stuff.
Yes. For more important things.
That's not important? Is that what you're saying?
It is important, but I can watch it when I'm off work.
That's true. Or you can technically watch it at work.
The other things I have to go somewhere else to see.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I guess you bring up great points.
Also,
yes,
Michael B. Jordan is going to produce a Fourth Wing series for Amazon Prime. It was officially announced. It was rumored, but it's officially announced now.
I'm actually kind of excited when Amazon gets into the mix as are they the producer?
Yeah, I think they're just the studio that's doing it.
Just because I was really nervous when Fallout was announced for the TV show, and a lot of the sci-fi kind of things, you have to have a lot of budget, a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I'm happy and excited that Amazon's picking up a lot of stuff because I feel like they have the capital to make a great show.
They have more than enough to.
Yes. But you know what I mean, to do it right.
Yeah.
And I feel like so far their adaptations are really on point.
For fantasy, I usually like to see HBO pick it up.
Yeah.
Because they know what they're doing as far as, Game of Thrones, even though their dragons are not dragons. But that's beside the point. That's some nerd shit.
Yeah, they're technically
Wyverns, yeah.
Wyverns. Nope, not even gonna try that. But I feel like HBO hasn't had anything recently besides Game of Thrones. Did they do Wheel of Time, or was that?
No, that's Amazon.
Yeah, that was Amazon too. So I don't know what they've done recently. I'm gonna have to look that up, if anything. So I've read 8 different books beside the podcast book. I'm just gonna go with the ones that have great stars ratings. So this is my 4th 5-star book this year, and I'm very critical with my ratings. So it was Beneath the Whispering Void by Sarah Bowden. It is a it reminded me a lot of Black and Blade, which I really liked. Mm-hmm. So it's a reverse harem that's has powers, and she's kick-ass, badass,
Yeah.
Loved it, and the second book comes out in June, so I could just hit right into it. And yes, I did buy it. So let's see here. Another one, The 13th Zodiac by Penn Cassidy. It was another reverse harem. It was a 2.5. It wasn't too bad. Just wasn't what I was looking for. After doing that 5-star, it was meh.
Yeah.
Because I was I need something more like this. And then I found a really cool manga that I'm going to continue. It's called Dungeon Builder. The Demon King's Labyrinth is a Modern City. So it's kind of like an isekai. It showed a lot of promise in the first volume, so I kind of want to continue it and see how it goes. So, and then the rest is Okay, do we want to talk about the book, or?
Yes, I did not read anything because I was in a I I went down a BTS rabbit hole. But that's okay.
That is totally okay. I do have something else, kind of like a connect to promise for books, if we have time. I didn't want to get too into it and be like, yes.
So, our book this week was Ghostwritten by Ronald Malfi. I have a signed copy. You saw it on my Instagram, if you looked.
And Facebook? I thought you put it on Facebook.
Yeah, I think possibly. I think so.
I think you did it like Monday or Sunday.
Yeah. But signed copy.
Yes. Is that, did you meet him at a horror book convention?
So I met him at Scarelastic.
Okay.
Which was, it's kind of a convention, but it wasn't a convention.
It's a book convention.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
There's a bunch of horror authors.
Yeah.
And that year I made a point of reading, like, most of the authors that were going to be there.
Okay.
So the ones that I have that are signed, well, which will come up again at the end of the episode, I got a lot of them from Scarelastic.
Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. Okay, so the book that we read, Ghostwritten, it had 4 novelettes that kind of intertwine.
Yeah.
Very loosely. I'm glad you're like. I actually could only find they connected to, like, 2 stories connected to 2 stories and 2 stories connected to 2 stories.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I figured we'd go through as the book, like, so the first short story in there and then going on.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So the first short story, novelette, whatever you want to call it, is called The Skin of Her Teeth. And I'm going to try my hand at a really short summary with this one.
For a little short.
Yeah, a little shorter.
I think they're all
summary.
like 100 to like 120 pages.
Yeah, I think you're right. So, a cursed manuscript causes people to go insane and die. So it follows like a literary agent, like an editor, trying to handle a screenplay. Actually, it handles a book that resisted to screenplay adaptation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay, cool. I was like, that's good, right? Okay, so, I didn't have... Okay, I thought it was interesting that the studio behind it was Paramount. I was like, ah! But that was just kind of a little fun story. A little fun thing.
So,
yeah.
With our theme, because our theme this month is books on books. And I think this one is the one that's going to, like, most encapsulate books about books.
Yes. Yes. I didn't expect them all to be books about books. I just thought, a little tad bit here and there. No, that was not the case.
So all of them focus around a book in some way. So in this one, the book basically eats anything that changes its story.
Yes.
Because of the author's trauma with his mother.
I mean, that's pretty accurate statement, really.
Yeah.
And it's not just one book, is kind of how I took it. It could be any book that is near something that's trying to change the original story.
Yeah, I think it's all the books encompassed in that story.
Yes.
So if you're just reading it, it's whatever. But if you try to change it, like make it into a movie,
yes,
the book is going to eat the other interpretation of itself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's accurate. And I honestly personally like the origin story of the haunted book better than the story itself. Just because I felt like so we kind of start out with her going to the house and was like, hey, you haven't called back. You done? And talks about how what he experienced with the book and the manuscript. He tried to bite him, and he tried to put it into like this coffin and build like a cage around the cage around the cage. And I'm like, okay, like that's kind of like what's going on, you know? But I felt like it was so slow starting.
That's what you get with short stories, because, like, I have a problem with short stories most of the time, because I don't feel like I get enough, or, like, they'll just drop you in, or it'll just be, like, slow, and then at the end, you're like, okay, well, is that it? Like,
yeah. And I felt like this one, majority of them were like that. But I felt like it was a more interesting the origin story of how the book came to be, like, haunted. I thought that was really interesting. It was a little bit more down to earth, because, you know, he was taking care of his dying mom. She was kind of a butt.
Yeah.
And made his life harder, and, like, physically abused him. And he was just like, I guess I have to do it, you know? Yeah. And so he still continued to do what he needed to do, but then she held on because she wanted to know the end of the book. Like, ooh, that gave me chills. And then, like, that was, like, literally 2% of the book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that would have been a really great, like, if you started there.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of working your way backwards, because this was the second person he had tried to change the book into movie form, which kind of alters it in the way the book does not like.
Well, he tried, like, 3 or 4 different times, and all of the other people had died, or, like, they killed each other, or, like, something awful happened to them.
It was just like, you know, once is, you know, whatever. Twice, that's a coincidence. Third time, there's a pattern, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of have to stop, break the cycle here.
He's like, no more.
Yeah, no more. So I felt I was kind of bored with following Gloria, who is the, basically the editor to the guy that was trying to write the book.
Yeah. I think it would have, like, worked better if you followed, Davis McElroy.
Yeah, Davis, yeah. The screenwriter for the book.
And, like,
like opening it with him.
Mm-hmm. Like, you were kind of, like, trapped in the cabin with him and the book, and you saw what the book was doing.
Yeah.
And that it went from his perspective as opposed to Gloria's.
Yeah. Like, I think what he was trying to do was outside looking in, because Gloria, you don't have the information that Davis has. You didn't experience that, so he's just trying to tell her, and he sounds batshit crazy, because she's, and, like, even has wounds on him from, like, the book trying to, like, stop him, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I'd want to mess with the book.
Yeah.
Or anything. But, like, she's still trying to salvage the deal, and it's just like,
you just, like, give it up at this point.
yeah, like, there's a point where you just say no, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure I wasn't crazy.
She had also dealt with a bad author before this that was, like, very drunk, which she was like, oh, this is just what this is. So in her eyes, she's like, oh, well, I'll just finish it, and then we can move on. Yeah. And then weird things happen.
Yeah, weird things started happening, and I don't know. I just felt like I wish there were maybe just I don't know. I felt like the first part was boring. That's all it comes down to. And I mean, with a short story, it is going to be what it's going to be, you know? But I really felt like if he went with the origin of, like, starting out with John Fish, who wrote the original book, The Skin of Her Teeth, I felt like if it had followed him, like, or did, like, maybe, like, past, like, showed how bad the mother was, like, I feel like you would have got a little bit more of, like, oh, dude, like, I'm so sorry. Because you felt bad for him. You're like, he's like, yeah, you know, she sold the bed. And I moved her to my bed. She sold that just out of spite. And it's like, that's some crap shit right there. Yeah. Like, you don't. Anyways. I have some words on that, but it's fine. But yeah, I just felt like the origin story was so much cooler, or it had a cooler, like, story that he could have incorporated it a little sooner.
Yeah.
And it would have, I think, made the world of difference.
Yeah,
personally.
But also in short story collections, I feel like the ones that you like better are at, like, the middle or the end of the book. Like, this, like, the first one's usually, like, this is just, like, the starter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely feel that. I think the more he's going for more like scary, like get under your skin, like, oh, that's kind of weird, like, what do you don't do that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I can kind of see where his thought process with the first one is.
Yeah. Are we ready for the second one?
I think we're ready for the second one.
Okay. So the second one is The Dark Brothers' Last Ride. And this one is about two brothers, and they're sent on, like, a carrier, like...
like transporters.
Yes. And they're charged with transporting a book from one location to the other. They have a weird map. They can't do, like, straight on.
Yeah.
And they can't touch the book. They can't, like, talk about the book or anything.
There are rules.
There are rules.
Follow the rules and you will survive. Safely, kind of.
Maybe. A little bit.
It depends. So yeah, like the trip that could have taken them 12 hours to go from point A to point B, the map gave them like a 2-day detour. Okay. It was kind of boring in the beginning.
Is this gonna be a theme?
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe. So to me, the vibe I got when you first introduced the two brothers is that they're kind of criminals.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're supposed to be criminals.
Yes. Kind of like shady deals. They transport stuff, and they're like, it's a book?
It was very much like the beginning of From Dusk Till Dawn, where
Yeah.
George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino are just like brothers doing their thing, you know?
Yeah. That's a pretty good... I didn't make that connection, but yes, that is almost perfect. They're out in the desert, like...
Yeah. They gotta get from one location to the next without dying.
That is the major point, yes. I had a quote from that short story that I thought was really impactful. So I'm going to share it. It said, "No story has a true beginning or ending. All stories are part of a grand and mysterious tapestry of all that has come before and all that will come in the future." I thought that was like... It set up really nicely because once you get through the story... I'm not going to tell you the end just yet because we haven't got there, but this is like 2 pages before the end of that story, and it leads into like, hey, this could be the end, but it's not. So it's like kind of like a false ending that I really kind of enjoyed because yes, we'll get into it. I thought it was really interesting because I didn't understand what was going on in the beginning. I'm like, they're going through this like place, like the desert. Oh, that's weird. There's not anything here. Or, hey, there's no people. And I'm like...
It's like they keep running into ghost towns. And then the waitress shows up at that one hotel.
Yeah, and it's like, what is going on here? And then... and even what's weirder is, like, they pass through a lot of, like, nothingness or ghost towns. Mm-hmm. But yet they're still hotels?
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's still some people, but just not a lot of people. And it was just like... I was like, why? What's going on?
So that RV, speaking of like the nothingness that they found, is the author that Gloria had before Davis.
Yes. Yes.
So that's our connection with that one.
Yeah, Jack Bear was also put in there because he's kind of like an editor too. Mm-hmm. And I think was his name. Chop Tank, who received the book, mentioned Jack's name too. So I thought that was kind of a cool tie-in. But once you got to, I just lost his name, Chop Tank, it all made sense. And I don't like when I can't figure it out myself.
Well, you're just kind of going like, this is weird. Like, why is this the way it's supposed to be? Is kind of how you're supposed to feel.
Yes.
Because like, even in that one town, all of the brands were weird brands.
Just, like, off to the left a little bit. And that should have been my first clue. But I didn't think of it in that fashion until my husband was like, oh, so everything's just kind of to the left. I'm like, oh, where were you freaking 2 days ago?
It's just, like, off a little bit.
Yes. And I'm like, So they're kind of traveling through the in-between. Like, in-between dimensions is the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
And the map is to make sure they get to the correct destination.
Yeah.
And their rules are so you don't die in the process.
But, of course, one of the brothers,
Yes,
Tommy, touches the book. So he starts getting, like, symptoms of, like, being sick and having weird dreams. And, like, at the end, he's, like, all bruised up.
Yes.
Like, he's one big bruise.
Yes. And I didn't make that connection until they got, till Danny got to the destination they were supposed to. And so basically, they try to save Tommy. But according to Chop Tank, they were just a little too late getting him in time.
Uh-huh.
And so his skin is now currently the cover of the book.
So, yeah.
That's where his skin went.
Skin-bound books.
No, thank you. I don't like that.
Which actually happened. Like, there's human skin books.
Yeah.
I read a whole book about it.
Throughout the history, I mean...
It is what it is.
It is what it is. You want to preserve something, and that was the only way they knew how to.
Yeah. Also, the way that they preserved leather, and, like, not necessarily leather, but skin is, like, the nastiest process of all time.
Yeah.
And some people use urine, and, like, that makes it worse. This whole process has got to stink.
I mean, didn't they use urine to, like, dye fabrics?
Probably. They've used urine for a lot of things.
Yeah. It has that right acidic... Never mind. I'm not going there. So yeah, one
side note, back to the story.
Yeah, sorry. Went on a tangent. So obviously Tommy's dead. Danny they clean out his car and take all the evidence out because people that pass through, like, the in-between don't really remember doing so. And so that was to try to help him not remember what happened, or, like...
Yeah, but he's gonna remember that his brother, like, how his brother died.
Yeah, 100%. So that's where he's, like, driving off, and he stops at that one place in the real world, and the waitress... I think that's where they meet up. He meets back up with, like, the broker guy or whatever.
Yes.
Alec. Yeah. I was like, there's no X. And she's there, and she's like, oh, where's your brother? And he's like, oh. And then he brings out, they forgot to clean out one can. And he makes, like, he remembers certain parts of it.
Yeah.
And he's always going to I assume he's going to hold on to that can to, you know.
I think he forgets it at the diner.
Does he?
Yeah.
I missed that. Damn. I mean, dang. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reread that to be sure. But, it ends, as he's driving off, it has that quote where, you know, no story has a true beginning and end. And I'm like, oh, that's really nice. And then it's like, next page, it's not over. I'm like, I liked that. Thanks, that was nice. So basically, he goes to meet Alec to get the rest of his money, because they did half and half. And half upon, you know, meet up and then whatever. And then he decides to kill them all.
Yeah,
Which didn't really make sense to me, because he felt like the one guy beat up his brother.
Yeah, the one guy definitely did beat up his
Yeah.
brother, and Alex sent that guy to kill his brother. So he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna get revenge on everybody.
Oh, yeah, and he just decides to kill the guy, driver, I guess, and then Alec. I don't know if he killed there was one other person, I think. Not the waitress, but...
Killed everybody that was in his...
Yeah, everyone that was with him.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he doesn't really have much to lose. Even though the two brothers' relationships are really kind of rocky throughout the beginning of the story.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, he's dying, so you feel like, I gotta make it right, you know? Yeah, so that was pretty... Anything else you wanted to talk about for that book?
No. I did like
Okay.
We're going back into it.
We're going back into
I liked the setting of this one because it was very like desert and like desolate, and you get like you're following these two brothers, and nobody else really matters, just these two brothers.
Yeah, I did kind of like that. I thought the in between was the most. Once I figured out or knew about it, I did kind of like the coal town that they went through. That got eaten by another book that destroys. Obviously, there's another side story there somewhere. But the guy, Chop Tank, had adopted all these all the people that lived in the town, and due to the upsetting of power, maybe, I guess, some of them don't look right. And I'm like, oh. Well, I mean, it's interesting, but also kind of like, that was kind of nice he didn't have to do that, because he, like, basically took on all these people, and he's technically not even human. He's from somewhere. So that just added kind of a more layer of, like, oh, this is interesting kind of thing.
So, side note, I don't know if you caught on to this, because I didn't, if it's in there. Is there an old guy with him? Like a gardener with Chop Tank in this story?
There's he's like, yeah, but I don't remember his name.
Okay.
He's like his bodyguard, the big buff guy?
No, I'm talking about an older guy.
I don't remember. I know there was a kid. I know there was that lady that had the messed up eye. And the kid didn't have a mouth. I don't feel like there was... And then there were other, like, women that cleaned the car out, but I don't remember a gardener, per se.
Because I didn't know, because in one coming up, we'll talk about it when we get to... It's the next story.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no. Okay. So, that was the Dark Brothers' Last Ride. The next short story was This Book Belongs to Olo.
Olo. In the audiobook, that's what it is, Olo. Even though his real name's Bartholomew.
I don't get that. I mean, I guess I get the Olo in his... Anyways. Okay. Do you want to take a stab at the short summary, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I can do this one. Okay, so this one is about this kid who is turning 10. And he invites all these other children to his house. But he has this pop-up book that he made that has abilities. Yeah. And that's all we're gonna get to on that one.
So this one I felt like had a very fast-paced start to it. Where it's like this kid and this creepy clown, generic plastic clown mask, staring at children. He's a child himself. And just holding on to these invitations, and he goes to the park, and he's just like oblivious that they're making fun of him because he's a homeschooled.
Yes.
And he does stigmatism around that. And so like they're making fun of him, and they're just like, oh, so you like hide and seek, that's such a baby game. But
this kid is like 9.
Yeah, he's 9. And so it's like he's very cheerful, very like either oblivious or just doesn't care or doesn't pick up that they're making fun of him. It's one of those. It mentions that he's like a genius level IQ. That could be part of it too. Or could be he doesn't really have parents.
Yeah.
His parents are MIA most of the time, so he takes care of himself, which isn't a problem since he's a genius and can understand things, but social interactions are a struggle for him throughout this entire story. Besides the mannequins. He likes his mannequins.
I didn't even think about that. Whatever. My photo is good. I'm just gonna...
Oh. That would have been good. So, Rachel has this life-size mannequin over there that she could have utilized for the picture. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, she doesn't have clothes on. Her name is Sheila, by the way.
I mean, you could put some clothes on her. I don't see what the issue is. No, I'm just kidding. But of course, that was like the third story.
Yeah.
So you would have had to have been 75%.
Which I was not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was doing other things.
So I really, let's see here. The concept of his book, the pop-up book, that interesting as heck. Like, first time I've ever seen something in that wheelhouse. Because I loved pop-up books as a kid. I still buy pop-up books. I mean, you know, like what were they? The encyclopedias of Dragonology or all those scholastic fun things. So that was kind of really interesting, and he made it so it's a like replica of his house. And so,
which his house is named Helix House because of the stairs.
Yes, it's a huge like kind of mansion. And so yes, he made it like a tiny replica. And so he can manipulate the pop-up book and it becomes reality.
Yes. And he can make doors and walls and whatever he needs because this is his book.
Yes.
It's also like the book from the previous story, Chop Tank's books that he collects. I assume is like, Chop Tank is going to want to get this one and get it out of the world.
But wasn't it destroyed? And
Partly.
So, I had a thought during it because I was wondering if it was the book itself that gave him the power, or if it was him. And then once it explained towards the end of the book, like last couple pages, it introduced the kindergartner teacher that he basically got expelled from school because of this. And so he drew something on a paper. So I'm going to assume it's him that
has the abilities.
Yes. Yeah. Just based on that knowledge. Because I thought it was just the book itself. It sounds like it was him.
Yeah.
That could, in anything he drew, manipulate and make reality.
So the connection to this one is Jack Bear again. Because his stepdad goes to a meeting, or is supposed to have a meeting with him.
I forgot about that. Yeah, they did mention Jack. Yeah.
But I also feel like it's connected to the brothers one with the gardener that he was friends with, that he trapped, the one that was terminally ill. But I'm not for sure.
I don't remember him being in.
Because it might just be like a mention and then he's gone, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't catch it.
At like Mecca or wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to reread that section. Because apparently I missed it.
That gardener's like room got like blacked out, but he has to be somewhere. Unless he's just dead.
I took it as just he was dead. Maybe, I don't know.
But nothing changes inside his little pop-up book. Unless he just like blacks it out. So like the people that are stuck in there don't change. Like time stops.
Yes.
Because one of the other ladies came out.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's just get into the middle of it and then talk about this piece.
Okay.
Because it's interesting now that you say it. So basically, come to the birthday party. His mom's out of town. I want to say out of state, but I don't think that's right. She went to New York.
Yeah, she's an author of
Lucy Bellatecourt books.
Bellatecourt
Series?
Yeah.
Series? So she's a very famous author. His stepdad, her husband, wants to be an author, but it's just not really good at it.
No.
In every capacity. Like, his stories don't make sense. He changes the names halfway through because he forgets because he's drunk. Fun times. Anyways. So the birthday happens, and some people, mostly bullies, from the schoolyard picked up the invitations that they just left on the ground. And then there's also one other girl, Peyton, who was really interested in, like, wanted to be his friend, didn't want to be, like, a jerk.
Yeah, she mainly was like, oh, well, this kid I know doesn't have any friends.
Yeah.
She was like, should I go or should I just, like, not. Like, she debated a lot with herself about going.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think her uncle finally was like, hey, you should go be his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And just, like, that's what he wants for his birthday.
Yeah. So she actually arrives late, and all the other kids are playing hide and seek, which, as readers, we know he did his thing, and they're all, like, in the spatial dimension, maybe?
In the book at this point.
Yeah, it's in the book. That would have been a better way to put it. So, you know, Peyton comes, and she's like, here, I got you a present. And he's like, oh my god. Like, because he's not had one.
Yeah.
None of the other kids brought anything because they were mostly there just to poke fun. And so he pulls out the glove, and it's red. His favorite color's red. Sorry, it was just throughout the entire, like, story. Red. And he's like, oh, that's cool. And she's like, well, I thought we could play. And so she teaches him how to, and he's just, like, happy as can be.
Yeah.
Like, I felt so bad for, not really, I didn't really feel bad for him until that moment where I was like, oh, I just wanted to be friends with people.
I mean, that's why he was trapping people.
Yeah.
Like, that's why he trapped the gardener and the housekeeper and his nanny.
Tutor.
Not
nanny. But yes. And so his tutor, Iris, went missing about, like, a month ago. And he really developed this kind of, like, kinship with the detective that is on the case, Detective Lewis. I think it was.
Detective Lewis, yeah.
Yeah. Detective Lewis, yeah. And so Peyton, I'm not really sure how Peyton escapes. It has to do with her glove.
Yeah.
And I want to say maybe because it's made out of leather, or because it used to be her mom's. I don't know how.
She finds a way out.
Yeah.
And then she helps everybody else out.
Mm-hmm. And then they kind of destroy the book with Olo still in it. Or still in the passages of the book. And so everyone escapes. They think he's dead.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. Him and his stepdad. What was his name?
Roger? Yeah, I think so. I didn't write it down.
I sure as heck didn't write it.
Because he wasn't important.
No, I wrote his mom's name. Yeah, so I think it's Roger. His stepdad is no longer. He's in wherever. He got trapped in the book along with Olo. We're just leaving it at that. And it comes to light that Iris, she was leaving him. That's why he trapped her. And then the gardener, who we thought was his first victim, went crazy after so long in the book. Maybe due to no time passing, they don't feel hunger. They
Yeah.
They went a little crazy. He went crazy, freaked Olo out, so he blacked out that room.
Yes.
He just drew in, blacked it out. Door doesn't open. It's just boarded up.
Gone.
So I took it as an assumption that he died.
Well, he might have died.
Yes. Yeah. That up for debate because we don't know. And then Iris was rescued. She was actually 2 months pregnant, and she went after she got released. She was there for about a month's time in the real world, and nothing had changed. She still was 2 months pregnant. So we know from her that time stopped, and that could be why people went crazy.
Because they had nobody to talk to but a 10-year-old, or whatever age he was at that time.
He would have been 8, because the gardener was there for, we don't know when he died.
Yeah.
7-ish. Because Betty, whoever Betty was.
She was like the maid. She was like housekeeper.
I was like, who's Betty? Betty's like coming out screaming. I'm like, I don't remember Betty. Where's Betty?
I remember who this person is.
Yeah, I was like, sure, Betty, come on. Because it was weird, because she had, like, her name, like...
Yeah.
Like, why would you put your name if you're just cleaning one house? Anyways. Yes. And then, after that, we get to the kindergartner, and she explains he drew the classroom on a paper with no windows and no doors, and kind of freaked the kids out because the windows disappeared, and of course the teacher was like, I can't just say the windows and doors disappeared. So they
yeah, she's like, I can't say this is gonna make me sound crazy.
Yeah. Which good on her, because 100% of what I would have done, and I probably would have been locked in the loony bin. But she just said that he had locked them in there and wouldn't let them leave.
Yeah.
Which is kind of accurate. So she destroys the paper, and then that's when I found out that it was him that could create the power. I don't know.
Yeah. But also, she ripped up that paper, so they got out.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still trapped in the book.
Yes.
Even though the book is kind of, destroyed. The house part of that is destroyed. Flattened.
Yes.
So that's where I was like, well, maybe it went into the...
in between.
Yeah.
Because of how he described where, it was, foggy and desolate. That makes sense. Now I'm going to have to reread it just to see.
So that's why I think, the gardener might not be dead. He might just be in that in-between area.
I mean, yeah, you really just need to reread, the end of the Dark Brothers' Last Ride just to see.
Yeah.
Or a little bit before the end, when they're in the Mecca, whatever.
That's why I was asking if you, remembered, that type of character.
Yeah. If I did, it would have been just, one word. Yeah. But it's an interesting concept, because if he's out in the world, and he just wants friends, what do you do? I don't know, that's kind of crazy. Okay. Kind of creepy. Okay. So, the last short story is just called The Story. It's about a journalist investigating his ex-girlfriend, friends with benefits, because they were never really
in a relationship, yeah.
Suicide, and becomes trapped in a dangerous online choose-your-own-adventure game that spirals into reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Pretty good.
This one was, very, Pulse, the movie Pulse.
Yeah.
It was very much like that, to me.
Ooh.
Because, they get their...
Yeah, no, I can see it.
Because they get obsessed with, finding stuff,
mm-hmm.
and then they're, basically sucked in
mm-hmm.
and forced to kill themselves.
Yeah. Yes. That's a very good description of it, really. Instead of cell phones, just replace it with book.
Yeah.
Because those creatures that come out of the movie Pulse are, staticky white noise, which goes really well with this. So you might have took inspiration from that, who knows. I'm not 100% sure. This one kind of...
That's a bonus movie recommendation if you haven't seen that one.
Yes.
You can either watch the Japanese one or the American one.
I'm not watched the Japanese one. Is it scarier?
Creepier? So, around that time we had a bunch of Japanese, horror movies being made into American, and I can't remember.
The Ring.
I know I watched Pulse, the Japanese one, but I can't remember
if it was. No, it's fine.
The difference between it.
Oh yeah, no.
But The Ring is almost shot for shot, but just you replace it with
a boy,
Naomi Watts.
I gotcha. I feel like this one was a little bit slow in the beginning. And then I didn't get the whole choose your own adventure.
Mm-hmm.
I did, but I didn't, if that makes sense. There's only 3 choices that he had to make. And so
yeah.
I'm where is it? So I felt like I was missing a lot on the choose your own adventure piece. That bled into kind of the choices that he made.
Yeah.
Bled into reality, but also didn't.
Well, it kind of was weird because it kind of went backwards for him. Because he's oh, well, you're going into the restaurant and this person whatever, you beat up this person, which didn't actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next story is like that guy that you talked to killed himself at a restaurant, which had already happened in our story.
Right.
So it was like kind of going backwards.
Yeah, it was almost like the decisions he made had already taken place in reality, and it was just trying to catch up. Or this is kind of how I felt, at least there towards the end, especially with the cell phone.
Yeah.
He handed the cell phone to the cops. And then one of the decisions was, you keep the cell phone or keep it hidden. And it just magically reappears. And I'm like, that just doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Like, I just felt like it was too inconsistent. But then, I don't know if it was meant to be like, he was just going crazy. So he thought he did this, but he didn't.
Yeah.
But as readers, we don't know that.
Yeah.
So it's like, to us, he handed the phone to the detective. And then he didn't? I don't know. It was just a little too clunky, I guess, for me.
Yeah, I can see that. Because we were also like, this already happened in the real world, so what's real and what's fake?
Yeah,
Which I think is the point, because the one guy that shot himself in the diner was like, make sure to take notes, because you won't know what's real and what's not.
Yeah. And I guess I haven't read a Choose Your Own Adventure book in a hot minute, so I'm wondering if that's, like, if you choose the decision that is not the decision you should, and you do have to flip back. So I'm wondering if he was trying to bring that into it. But I don't know if you would repeat.
Yeah.
There was not, like, any, like, kind of repetition. It was just more of, hey, this has already happened, we already found out, and then now it's in the Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think it was more just to, like, guide him through, and a little bit of him going crazy, too, because he'd listen to all those white noise.
Yeah. All those, like, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a little bit of both, because after the one guy dies, he gets the message, even though he was already in the story. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, he'd already made decisions at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So the story, like, restarted, I guess.
Yeah, kind of. I guess I just didn't like that when what's his name? Grady? Mm-hmm. When Grady decides to, well, he didn't really decide, but he accidentally killed the detective, even though the detective didn't really have a gun. He was just checking on him. And then it was like, you will go kill yourself. It's like, okay. So I felt like you had a choice, because it's like choose your own adventure, but then it basically just said, go kill yourself. And he's like, I ain't gonna do that. And then he does. I felt like that wasn't a choice at that point.
No, but sometimes in Choose Your Own Adventure novels, they have, like, the page, and then, like, at the end of it, it's like, oh, you go to this page. And there's no, like, double, like, page option. Sometimes it's just, like, one.
Right.
And then you're, like, that's where you're going regardless, once you get to that page.
Right. I don't know, I just felt the disconnect, because his girlfriend killed herself.
Yes.
Like, hung herself. The guy shot himself. So I felt like those were choices that you, like, even if you're going crazy, that was still kind of a choice to shoot yourself. Or was it, I don't know, like it.
Because I got, like, that it was predestined, like, once the story told you that you were going to die, regardless. Which is where, like, the pulse thing comes in, because, like, once they said, like, you're done, you're done.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I guess I just felt like, I guess I just needed more, I guess is what it comes down to. Because I felt like,
it's a short story.
Yeah, it's a short story problem, 100%. But I guess I just felt like both of them did suicide. And yes, technically he did too, by falling off of a building.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, like, Night Watcher, like, basically killed himself right in front of Grady. So I felt like that was his choice. Like, the Night Listener, I thought that was his choice. So if you look at it as it's all predetermined, is that why the girlfriend was like, don't read it?
Yeah. Probably.
Because she knew he would try to investigate, because he did actually end up loving her.
Yeah.
And that's what I didn't like about the end. Like, the story, if you will, made it seem like he was running after her, and that's how he fell off the building. So I just felt like that was just kind of like
from, like, the detective's perspective, if you see that he basically threw himself off the building, you're like, oh, he killed himself.
Yeah. Because he killed the one detective.
Yeah.
And then, well, he decided to go to the roof, and, you know, I don't know. I just didn't like that one. Mostly because, like, white noise is, people love it, people hate it, and I do not like it. No. It does not give me soothing comfort sounds.
I've seen too many horror movies that white noise is a no for me.
Yeah, it's like, no, thank you, appreciate you. And then, like, the white noise was tied to the story in, like, certain settings where you could hear the dogs, and it's like, that was a little reach for me. I don't know.
Well, it's supposed to be, like, the white noise because only that person who's in the story is supposed to hear what's on the tape. So they weren't actually hearing, like, dogs. They were thinking they were hearing dogs because they had it up so high.
I gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense because he did listen to recordings and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was the ex-girlfriend. And he was like, people, they're messing with me. Someone's messing with me. Which adds to, like, the crazy factor into it. But, yeah. So the tie into that one is the detective from the author from the Book of Olo. Her name is also the other detective that didn't get killed in the story. Had the same last name, but I don't know what her first name was. So it makes me wonder
if they're in a Lucy story.
Yes. Well, yes and no. I thought it had a tie-in with the stepdad was like Maribel, who is the author of the Detective Lucy story. She has, like, I don't know, 8 or so. I don't know how many books she has, but it's a series. And so he talked about his wife as being a literary, like, vampire. She steals ideas. So I thought that the detective from this story is who she's writing about. That was I was thinking. Yeah.
It could be that too.
Yeah. But that's just speculation. Who knows?
Neither here nor there.
Yeah. It was just interesting because, you know, because they mentioned, like, oh, you know, there's a series about your, you know, and she's like, yeah, I know. So.
I got it.
Yeah. It's like, Anyways, okay. So that was the 4 stories inside of Ghostwritten by Ronald
Malfi.
So was there anything, like, collectively that you wanted to hit on?
So my big thing is, like, I'm not a huge short story person. So it's like because this is a reread for me. But when I originally read it, I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a chance because I know I don't really like short stories. So it's like, okay, well, these were decent because they're long enough where it doesn't feel like you're missing anything, if that makes sense. Like, they're full stories.
You get enough plot. It was just, I felt like it was boring in majority of them. Like, I need something fast-paced.
It was just beginning. Like, build it.
Yes.
You were building.
Yes. And in a longer book, that's fine. Like, a slow burn or anything like that. Like, I get, but I was expecting a little bit more spooky.
I mean, it was pretty spooky, but I get where you're coming from. Because there's a lot of, like,
dead space kind
building to what's actually happening.
Yes.
You kind of got to be a detective.
Yes. And it's not my strong suit. But, yes. I guess I was expecting a little bit. I just felt like I was crazy instead of scared. And that is a type of horror. So It's just not what I'm used to. I'm used to, like, slashers. I'm used to, you know, slashers. Slashers. Cults. You know, bloody, not mentally spooky.
I mean, you got a creepy kid in this.
Yeah, the creepy kid. 100%. I kind of, so I was thinking of, like, the power of the written word as, like, it's a book theme. And, like, especially some of the books, or some of the short stories, and the books inside of them, where it was, like, words have power. And you especially see that in the first one, the skin of her teeth, where it's, once you've written something, you shouldn't adaptate it or change it. So I thought that was kind of interesting, where, like, things that are written can be cursed or dangerous in certain settings.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. Also, the unsafe fiction, which, safety and imagination is untrue, and this was not. It bled into reality a little too, not a little too much, but it bled into reality, or the reality of the book, where nothing, you were following
Unreliable narrator,
and then you're also an unreliable reader, because you don't know what's going on, so you're trying to piece together things.
Yeah.
So,
which, if you're not, like, a detective as far as, like, your reading goes, it can be a little hard.
Yes.
Because you're like, oh, that's weird, so I'm going to keep that in my mind.
Yeah.
And then go on.
Yeah. And with like, stuff like that, where it's, like, intertwining, you don't know what's going to be important later in this, in down the line. So it's kind of nice to, like, be able to pick things out, but then you also lose things, too.
Yeah.
It's okay. Anything else you want to talk about the book?
I don't think so. I think we covered it pretty well.
Yes. Yeah. So, what was your rating?
My rating's a 3. And that's about standard for short stories. Because there's always going to be, like, ones that you're like, okay, well, I could do without this one.
Yeah.
But this one was enjoyable. Like, the Brothers one was enjoyable because you, like, had to piece it together. But the first one at the beginning was kind of like, meh. You know?
Yeah, no, I get it. My rating was a 2, just because I felt like they were kind of boring. Majority of them were boring. I can't say all of them were, like, boring in the beginning, but I just felt like I needed more.
You needed it to go a little faster?
Yeah, I need something in the beginning, and then it can calm down, but I need that hook kind of feel. And that's just more personal preference than anything else. So, what was your favorite short story in this one?
Probably the Brothers one.
Okay. I really liked the book. This book belongs to Olo.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I just really like the concept of the pop-up book. I love it. I love the idea.
The weakest one for me was the first one.
Yeah, it was, but I think it was more of, like you said, kind of an introductory to his, like, writing style in general, and lead up to a lot of the other ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked Gloria, just not enough to follow her. It would have been cooler if anyone else, really. Besides Jack, because I feel like Jack didn't have a lot in the story.
I think he was just, like, the through line for all the stories.
Yeah.
Except for the last one. I don't think he was in the last one. He might have been, actually. Because the guy was a writer. So he might have got mentioned. But I'm not 100%.
I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure, though. I thought the tie-in was the detective to the Olo.
Yeah.
But Jack could have been the whole thing.
Could
have been in the one sentence I didn't pay attention to. Okay, scary score.
I'm gonna give it a 2. Because it's not very scary, but you have, like, those creepy kind of moments.
Yeah. I was gonna give it a 1.5. I wasn't really scared, per se.
It also takes a lot to scare I think both of us at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you give me a torture one, it's gonna be a 5, no matter what the torture is, because I don't do torture. I do not like that. I guess I was just expecting a little bit more ghosts.
Ghosts.
Yeah, instead of, like, the closest I got was the in-between. Mm-hmm. The ghost, like, figures. Like, he's like, I feel someone, like, close to me, but they can't see him. Vice versa. He can't see them. They can't see him. But I guess I was just like, where's the ghost? Like, I don't know. I set myself up. It was
called Ghostwritten.
Yeah, I set myself up for failure with that one because, like, I guess technically the closest one would have been the first one where it's like the possession of the book.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's my scary score. Okay. Do you want to go over the rest of the
2 that we have left?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So our romance pick for this month is Better Than Fiction by Alexa Martin.
And then this is going to be our fantasy. The start.
Yeah, I always give you that one. I'm sorry. Her last name is Morgenstern.
Thanks in advance.
I feel like you always get it.
It's okay. So, to finish out the month, it's The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. Thank you, Rachel. She knows
That's what I was laughing about.
She knows I struggle with names, English, everything in general. Okay.
So, next month, our theme is favorites. And we're kind of interpreting that in 2 different ways.
Only with the first one.
Only with the first one.
So, yes, it was favorites. Rachel took interpretation with this one. Because in August we're going to go meet her. And we're also going to get the second book of this. So we definitely wanted it.
We wanted to read something by Tate James.
Yes.
And we'd already read my favorite by her,
yeah.
which is the Madison Kate series.
Yes.
So we're reading something new.
Yes. So we're going to read No Fear, which is, I think, her newest one, right?
Yeah.
By Tate James. This is going to be our romance pick. Since favorite author, we're hoping it's not going to be a cliffhanger.
It's definitely going to be a cliffhanger.
It's definitely going to be... Do you know how to say her name? Last name?
No, you can go for that one since it's yours.
Okay, so that was our romance one. This is going to be our sci-fi pick, and this is one of my favorites. This is called Enclave by Anne Aguirre. It is a YA.
Okay, I'm going to skip this one since it's yours.
Okay.
Our horror pick is Devil's Creek by Todd Chrisling. I'm not 100% on that last name. But cults.
This is your favorite, you should know.
Horror cults.
We're not sure what order we're going to read them yet, so bear with us. But if you see any that you like, definitely check in next month.
Yes, especially for Devil's Creek, because that one's more of an indie publish. So.
Oh, cool. Interesting. So my other pick was our fantasy pick. It's called Bloodlines by, I think it's Rachel Mead.
Yeah. Rochelle Mead.
Rochelle Mead. My bad.
Sorry.
Which is also another YA book. Yes. But they're favorites. They're my favorites. So, if you don't like them, I'm gonna cry.
Well, you don't like Frankenstein, so I'm putting that out there.
And did you cry in the bathtub?
No.
Well, you should have. I'm just kidding. Okay. Do you want to call it, or I have one more thing if you want to go?
Go for it.
Okay. So, I had an epiphany. Since I'm working in a different department, and with my job, and it's going to tie into a book that we've already covered on the podcast, and that book is called Wool by Hugh Howey, and of course, I'm going to talk about silo. So, do you know what silo means in business?
No.
Okay. I didn't know it was a thing, and I have heard it multiple times just this week alone. And I just had the epiphany in my head. So silo in business means isolated departments or teams that operate independently, fair to share information, resources, or goals, like with the rest of the organization. The silo mentality creates fragmented workflows, yada yada, etc., business stuff. But this actually made me have an epiphany on the book that we read, Wool.
Yeah.
because obviously there are silos in that book. And, you know, towards the end of the book, you realize there are more than one silo.
But they're all working separately.
Yes. So I had that, it added like a depth that I didn't know I was missing because I didn't know about like the terminology of silo in business setting until people started saying it, you know? And I was just like, and I just wanted to tie that into like, it shows like a reader's personal experience and how that could affect one's understanding of a book, and especially one that I didn't even know. And so like now that I know, it just kind of adds that depth of that the silos were running as independently, even though they were part of a group.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, that was so interesting to try to connect that I was like, oh. I don't know, it just like added some kind of like, because, you know, we have to take it as a reader as like, you know, the silos in the book, I had it written down, I had it like perfectly, are based on the same set of rules.
Yeah.
Because they all have that same book. But yet, we know the one silo is completely dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, it was interesting to kind of see that tie-in.
And how they interpret all rules. Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like that's probably what he was doing. But since I didn't know, it just added extra to
a little bit, yeah.
I just wanted to bring that in. I was like really excited. I was like, oh my god, it adds on, like, because I already liked it, you know, and to add like that extra layer that I didn't know, it was just like, it's like,
I hate to continue that series.
Yes, you do. Well, so do I. But it was just interesting that, you know, we have been reading these books on the podcast, and we think very differently. And it's just interesting to
read very differently.
Oh, 100%. But it was just kind of interesting to tie in that, like, that your personal level of experience or, like, what you've lived through can see how you think about a book in a different light.
Yeah.
And also to bring in, like, we read that, like a year ago at this point? It was one of our first books.
Yeah. I think it was the second month we were doing it.
Yeah. So it was just kind of nice that I'm still thinking about that book.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool.
That was a good book. Read that book.
Yes. Definitely
Listen
read that book.
to that episode.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch our freaking episode. You're welcome. All right. Is that it?
Yep.
Have a good week.